Hi, I am Serena or Huang Wei Yi in Chinese. I am a Taiwanese born and raised in Bangkok, Thailand. And I am a National Taiwan University alumni. I study public health and economics, and right now I'm working as an ERP software sales.
Hi, my name is Ruby and I'm 21 years old. I'm Taiwanese, but I grew up in Thailand and I came back to Taiwan 3 years ago for university. And now I'm studying philosophy in National Taiwan University here in Taipei. I would identify myself as Taiwanese because in Thailand I study in an international school and most of my close friends were Taiwanese and we spoke Chinese often in school, like even though we had to speak English. And also when I went back home, my parents are Taiwanese, so we spoke Chinese and I was taught under like Taiwan culture, but then school is also an important part when I was growing up in Thailand because I spent most of my time in school and so I was still influenced by some Thai culture and also I had to interact with my teachers. They were like American or Canadian or like all around the world. So I think I am influenced by still like Thai and American culture. So there is still a slight difference of me from being like fully Taiwanese. So when I came back to Taiwan, uh, should I say local Taiwanese? Okay, local Taiwanese, they are more conservative because they, some of them didn't even like travel to another country. They stayed in Taiwan like for most of their life. So being overseas Chinese students, we all have something in common is that we know English and that English is a part of American culture, right? So we are more outgoing. We say what we think, but then in Taiwan, they are more conservative on their thoughts. So when we're like making friends with Taiwanese students, they are more shy and like boring because we don't understand their jokes. So we think that it's boring. And then overseas Chinese students, we all speak English, so we know like pop culture, we know American like movies and stuff. So we understand each other, and that's what makes it fun because, yeah. And also like education, academic wise, in Thailand, like we study in an international school, so saying our thoughts and having fun in class is like really important. But in Taiwan, their main goal is to be top. Like they don't care about the atmosphere or anything. They just study and they memorize everything. I don't know.
Well, as if you remembered how I introduced myself, I said I'm a Taiwanese, born and raised in Bangkok, Thailand. So basically, it depends on who I'm talking to. Most of the time, if I'm in Taiwan, I'd say I'm a Taiwanese. I identify myself as a Taiwanese. But if I am in Thailand right now, answers would be different. So to sum up, I think it's half and half. It depends on my mood, depends on the person, depends on the place, depends on the occasion. But I wouldn't say that I'm Taiwanese or Thai. Like I'm both, because I grew up in Thailand for 18 years. That's my home. That's where I considered home. But a quarter of my life, I've been in Taipei for the past 6 years, and I have adapted to the life here, to the culture here. I hated it before, but now I'm kind of getting used to everything in Taiwan that I'm feeling more like a Taiwanese more and more every day. Well, if I think about if I was still in freshman and you asked me this question, I would definitely say I'm a Thai. I never ever thought I was a Taiwanese. I hated being viewed as a Taiwanese. I always say I'm a Thai, but my parents are Taiwanese. I know that doesn't make any sense, but because you're I grew up there. I was born there. All my friends are Thai, and I speak Thai. Everything I know is about Thailand. So all I know about Taiwan is that my parents are Taiwanese. So I say my parents are Taiwanese, but I'm Thai. That it's weird. And but now everything has changed. So right now I would say both, half and half.
So what made you change your self-identifications? Like what changed your mind to want to become a Taiwanese, like answering a Taiwanese instead of answering you're Thai?
I think it's time. Like there's no particular event or anything. It's just as time passed by, I've been here. I get to know a lot of Taiwanese people. You live here, you live your life here. You become localized. I think you can say that. So basically, I think time is the main reason. The longer you stay at a certain place, you kind of have a connection to that place and the people you know there. So no particular event and nothing really, but I do realize that it was during my second semester of my third year, that was the first time that I introduced myself as a Taiwanese, which I was shocked myself as well. I was like, wait, did I just say I'm a Taiwanese? So after that, I always just say I'm a Taiwanese born and raised in Thailand.
The first problem I encountered was making local Taiwanese friends because when I first came to Taiwan, I was like so happy and like I was excited about meeting new friends. But then when I really talked to local Taiwanese people, like classmates, I didn't really know what to talk to them about because they already have their own groups and they also had a lot of Taiwan inside jokes that I didn't understand. And also when I talked to them, they only talked about mostly academics, and I wasn't really. I don't really have interest in philosophy when I was in my first year, so I don't really have anything to talk to them about. Yeah. And that's why I don't really have any local Taiwanese friends. My friends are mostly overseas Chinese students. And the second problem was catching up with academics because back in Thailand in our international school we had a lot of activities other than like studying and stuff. And Taiwan students are really hardcore in their academics. Like they study a lot. Even after class, they go to the library and they study. Unlike us, like I'm not saying that I don't really study, but compared to them, I think I'm not that hardworking. But compared to my first year, I improved a lot because even though I'm still trying to do my best, but in this environment I can still like see what I'm really capable of doing. Like because my classmates are really hardworking, so they push me to my limit, and I see like what I can really do.
The biggest problem is we have no friends. Like literally no friends. Because all of my friends and family are back in Thailand, so when I come to Taipei, I was literally alone in this foreign country, foreign place. So we have no friends. And what made it worse is that it's not easy to make friends. It's not easy to fit into the Taiwanese society. We don't understand. I mean, I didn't understand the slang. Like when they say, "Oh, 那个老师很雷," I'd be like, 什么是雷? Like you don't understand what they say, and like sometimes when you make jokes, they don't get it, and I don't get their jokes. They don't get my jokes. So it's just hard to click in and fit into the and because we look different as well. Like I always look like this with makeup on ever since first day of first year, and they just think that, oh, this girl, she's different, we can't be friends. My friend actually said that to me, like, oh, you're different, 我们不会当朋友. And I was like, what? It's like, it's so weird. But anyhow, I think I'm lucky because my faculty is really small. We are a class of like 30 students, so well, it's kind of hard to ignore anyone when the class is so small. So I think I'm kind of lucky in that way. So when we go out, there would be everyone would go out together, and then when we have events, everyone would have to join. I know some of my other overseas friends, like when they want to join the 杜鹃花节 or something, you have to sign up for it. For us, we're required because there's only 30 of us. All of us has to participate. So it's just like because of the events and the activities, we get to spend time together, and then we get to know each other more and more. And I think the main thing is that you have to be willing to join. Like I know my sister, she also goes to NTU, and then she also didn't have friends, but then she didn't feel like she probably maybe because she didn't identify herself as a Taiwanese, so all of her friends, like 95% of her friends are overseas or foreigners, like exchange students or overseas friends. And then she didn't make friends with any of the locals. But for me, I think that I know that I will be here for a long time, and I need local friends. So it's kind of hard in the beginning, but I really force myself to hang out with the Taiwanese. Sometimes I don't like them in the first place, but well, as you spend time, you kind of like you see they're very genuine. They're really 很单纯. So right now I would say like my friends are half Taiwanese, half locals. A lot of half Taiwanese, half like foreign friends. A lot of my overseas and foreign friends, we go out to like shopping and do the more fun stuff. On the other hand, the Taiwanese friends are for like homework and tests, like exam, we review for our tests together. But for the fun stuff, I go out with the overseas friends. I'll say stress. Stress in terms of social stress, study stress, everything. Well, I think it's just because NTU is not easy, right? And a lot of people look down on us, for me in particular. I mean, nobody gives me stress. My parents never expect me to get good grades. They just say 过就好，毕业就好，拿到证书就好. But I say, because I heard a lot of people say 侨生都是加分进来的. And then I don't like that. I want to prove everyone wrong. I want to prove that I deserve to be here. I have the ability to be here. I have the brain to be here. So I just give myself like 10 times the stress that, in high school I was just really chill. Study one day before exam, you get an A. But now I study 1 month before the exam, like until midnight, sometimes I study until sunrise, just because I want to prove to people that 侨生不是只靠加分进来的. So, but I don't know about other 侨生, but I believe that everyone has the same problem, because Taiwanese, for the locals, to be able to get into NTU, it's freaking hard. Like, I could never imagine. So, it's hard to compete with those people, especially when the grades are like curved, you know. Like, and then we'd be like, oh, 侨生垫底的. And I'd be like, oh my god, no. So, class stress is one thing, and the other thing is social stress, right? You have no friends. What are you gonna do? They don't understand you. Sometimes I want to talk to my Taiwanese friends about, like, you get lonely sometimes. They don't understand. right? It's sometimes we're speaking a different language. It's just they don't experience what you're experiencing, so it's hard to have like a heart to heart talk with them. It would be really hard. I mean, if you're willing to change and adapt and kind of just accept the fact that everyone is different, especially from a different society. I think I told you that before when you're in first year that I hated it and you hated it when you were in year one, and I said it will be fine soon, but you just had to like 撑下去. And once you're over that time, if you're here for enough time and you're willing to get to know the people here, you're willing to change yourself a little bit, you'll
Change
like it.
what of yourself,
Like,
in particular?
if you compare Thailand and Taiwan, it's really different, the society, because we go to international school. A lot of our friends are from a like pretty okay background, and then maybe too okay for me. I feel like Thai people, especially Bangkok, are very materialistic. Everything would have to be brand name, and everywhere you go would have to take photos and post it on Instagram and all that materialistic stuff. And Taiwanese, they don't do that as much, especially NTU students. I mean, sometimes I think I'm biased because all of the Taiwanese that I know are from school. So when I say Taiwanese, it might be biased. Like most of the Taiwanese that I'm referring to are NTU students, which might not be always correct, but from my experience, the NTU students that I know are very like down to earth. We buy stuff from the night market. We don't care. It's nice. We wear it. We use it. But for Bangkok people, they'll be like, oh, where'd you get it from? What brand is it? What car do you drive? How much is that? How much is this? How much is that meal? What does your boyfriend do? What does your boyfriend drive? And all that just materialistic stuff. If you like that, it's okay, but I personally don't like that. So I become more and more leaning towards the Taiwanese culture that I think I'm more comfortable with. I can do whatever I want. I can buy whatever I want. I can use whatever I want. I don't care about others. So if you're willing to accept the fact that Taiwanese and Thai are different in different ways, there's no right or wrong. It's just whatever you like. So if you're willing to understand the people, accept the fact that you have to be here, you know? If you didn't give up, you could give up in year one and be like, I'm gonna go back home. You could do that. But for me, I feel like once I made the decision to come, I'll stay. I have to be here for 4 years. You're, that's what you have to face.
Suck it up.
Yeah, like man up. Live with it. What are you gonna do about it? You can't change others, right? Well, let me like sum it up. It's either you go back to Thailand or you stay. If you go back, nothing's gonna happen. Go back, right? But if you choose to stay, you cannot change like millions of people around you, but you can change yourself. And if you can change yourself, you can live in this environment more comfortably and more happy. You'll be happier, right?
Understanding our own culture is important because culture is what makes us view things in a certain way and what like creates our perspective. So being Taiwanese, I understand why my parents act in a certain way, how they teach us, and like it is really different from how Thai parents teach their kids. But then by understanding it, we respect each other because we know that we are from different countries. So and we have different cultures. So, but if we don't understand our own culture, we tend to become ignorant and we don't respect them because we feel like they're different from us. I learn about their culture and I know my own culture, right? So then I know there's a difference, but then if I don't know my own culture or if I don't know their culture, we won't be considerate about others because we will feel like they're different from us. Yeah.
So that's why you think your underclassmen should come to Taiwan and study.
Yeah, to like really know how people work, and because in the future we might be working with Taiwanese, so it will be a good way or advantage to know first on how they view things. And also coming back will improve your Chinese, and Chinese is also a culture, like the language is also a culture. Yeah. And also Chinese is like I mean China and Taiwan is like growing a lot, so Chinese will be an important language in the future, like for your future career.
What position does language take in a culture? Like
A really important, like I think it's a really important part because in Thailand, language is like a way of lifestyle. You speak a different language and it's like a whole different lifestyle because like English, American culture is like really outgoing, and when you speak English with anyone, like I feel like it's more lively. And in Taiwan, Chinese is like more conservative because people speak, like they have this thought but then they speak around it. They don't really speak, how do I say this? Like 怎么说啊?
they do not like it straightforwardly.
Yeah, and I think that's the part of the culture too.
Oh, so that's interesting. So you mean that when you speak English or you speak Chinese or Thai maybe, you will like have a different I mean not like how to say
Different way of feeling in my heart, but it's not like a different personality.
like different ways of dealing with things and like facing people.
Yeah.
Do I plan to go back or do I stay? Honest answer, I don't know. I've been asking myself that I mean, during my first year, I'd say definitely I'm going back, 100%. But now, since my fourth year and fifth year, I studied 5 years. So during my fourth year and fifth year, I've been thinking like, do I want to stay or do I want to go back? I don't know. And for now, I'm working now, so the plan that I give myself is that I'll work here for 2 years, and then 2 years later, I'll think about whether I want to settle down in Taiwan or in Thailand. But I think in the long run, like if I'm going to have a family, I would want to go back to Thailand. But like the short term plan, I'm not fixed. And the reason that I say I would want to settle down and have a family in Thailand is because it's where I grew up. It's my home. That's where I feel like I'm the most comfortable with. If I happen to have a child, I would want my kid to grow up in where I grew up or anywhere else other than Taiwan. I do not want my kids to grow up in Taiwan because I do not want my kids to be studying all their lives. I want them to have a happy childhood. I grew up